This was a fascinating question that we had. No one's ever asked this before. Ryan is in Houston, Texas, and he said, I always think it's dumb to compare championship teams from different years. I agree with you, Ryan. He continues, here's something I don't think is dumb. What are the worst playoff games we've ever seen? And immediately, Georgia TCU's got to be number one. This was horrific. This was assault. Those are someone's kids in those white uniforms. And Georgia just did stuff to them all night. So it was a 65-7 national championship game. This is only 3 or 4 years ago. 38-7 at halftime. 589 to 188 total yardage edge for Georgia. Georgia players, like midway through the third quarter, are soliciting snacks from the crowd. And they're just eating chicken wings on the sideline, being handed food from fans. TCU can't do anything about it because they've long since been cooked right along with everything else. I was in the Fox box for this game. What's the Fox box? Well, the Fox box is somewhere I'm not supposed to be, first off. It is a suite that Fox Sports quite literally has for their talent because the game was in Los Angeles. Fox is in Los Angeles. I'm working for CBS at the time. It is a complete and utter dismantling on the field. So I was there with Cannell and a few other people. Brady Quinn was there. And we went up to the Fox box with Klatt and the guys. And we were up in a suite. It's the only time I've ever watched a game from a suite. I'm not going to apologize for it because what else was I going to do? It was sad. And you get this great buildup. It's a college football season, and this is how we're going to culminate it. So that was the splattering to end all splatterings. I ended up in enemy territory in a rival network's box. That's how bad it got. I went to a suite. That's how bad it was. Then we have Bama, Michigan State from 2015. This was a semifinal game. 38-0. It was yet another one of those examples. There were several Bama games like this in that era. Georgia did it too, where you're going into a game and you know this kind of feels like a waste of time. What are we doing? What is Michigan State going to do? What is Connor Cook going to do? What are the very, very best of scenarios? I think this is also one of those weeks where Tony Brown flipped out and went after Nick Saban's throat at practice and they had to send him home. And drama, internal dissension for Alabama. No, it just turns out their practices were tougher than the game. There's Derrick Henry kind of messing around with the defensive lineman there. All I remember about this game, because I was there, is I was in the parking lot of AT&T Stadium as midnight hit. It was New Year's Eve. And that's the only time I have ever been unaware that it's New Year's Eve. It's exactly midnight. Wow, it just became 2016 or 2015, whichever one it was. Other than that, I don't have much recollection about that game. Next up, I stuck with the 4-team era, by the way. So I'm not doing the past 2 years. So it's just 4-team playoff era. Worst playoff games. I think that semifinal game in 2016 between Clemson and Ohio State belongs on this list. Clemson just blew out Ohio State. And Ohio State had 3 wins over top 15 teams that year. And then this happened. It just got annihilated. Clemson was loaded because that was that team that had come so close against Bama in the title game the year before, and they were on their way eventually to winning a title this year. Had to go through Ohio State first. Ohio State had no drive over 50 yards. Clemson had 24 first downs to Ohio State's 9. Just a no-show of a night for Ohio State. It was bad. Who was it? J.T. Barrett, I think, was the quarterback, and Deshaun Watson. And just a complete and utter loaded wide receiver room for Clemson. I also think the semifinal game in 2021 between Georgia and Michigan belongs on this list. Hey, quick time out here. Are you subscribed to the channel? It doesn't cost anything. It's free. Please do it. It helps us maintain the show at this level. That's it. That's all I got. Back to the clip. So J.J. McCarthy was 7 of 17 in this game. Cade McNamara was 11 of 19 for 2 interceptions. We were at this game, and you can tell so early. It's not happening. It's not happening. Georgia's skill group was loaded, man. If you go back and look at that roster, it was 27-3 at halftime. And it's just, I was on the field for the second half of the game, and it's so weird. in these sorts of environments because it's been a huge buildup, and it's a playoff game. You have a whole week where the teams are on location. You had a media day. Like, you have all that stuff. And then it's just total blowout. And you're standing on the field, and it's so anticlimactic. You're watching at home, or maybe you're tuned out by the second half, and it's so anticlimactic, and you're like, this is a playoff game? The Bama-Cincinnati semifinal, same year. The two semifinals were Georgia over Michigan, Bama over Cincinnati. This Bama-Cincinnati game, was really similar to that year Bama played Washington. And I think it was like 24-6 or something like that. The scores were almost identical. Bama had 301 rushing yards against Cincinnati. All they had to do was just lean the whole game. They just knew our roster is that much better than theirs. Cincinnati was a G5 team, by the way, at this point. People kind of have memory hold the fact that a G5 team made a 4-team playoff, and it was totally legit. Like, everyone, including me, thought Cincinnati is rightfully in this playoff. That was about as far as they were going to go, but it was a lean on them game. Just our roster is Bama, your roster Cincinnati, and that's it. The only thing we can do is lose this game ourselves, and they didn't. And then the last one was probably the most TVMA of all the playoff games, outside of that national title game with Georgia TCU. How well do you remember 2019? You remember LSU goes and wins a national title. Do you remember the semifinal? LSU played Oklahoma in the semifinals in 2019. It was 49-14 at halftime. LSU somehow figured out a way to hang 49 in the first half, and they punted at one point in the first half. Let me put it another way. Oklahoma scored touchdowns in every quarter of a playoff game and still lost by 35. And this was Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma. This is when we first started to realize, there may be a problem defensively here. There may be a little bit of a fly in the ointment here with the Lincoln Riley formula. This was so bad. I was in Atlanta. Oh, man. With all these games, you remember the second half, and you're just kind of saying, oh, man, you're like checking the clock. How long is left? The good news is the crowd's going to thin out so traffic won't be bad outside. Those are the worst ones I can remember, if such thing as a bad playoff game exists. And I didn't go expanded era. So that was, I guess, what, Jesse, 2024 and earlier, 2023 and earlier.